Life is spiritual. Everything is not a coincidence. Have you always been seeing things concerning relationship with God everywhere you turn? Relationship with God, fellowship with God, spend time with God, spend time with God. That thing that you are seeing is a beckoning. God is calling you. It's not something that you are supposed to see as a cliche. When you hear that God is calling you into his presence, why did you make it to become like that in your own life? Are you someone who identifies with God just because of what you can get? Then you are the very person that God wants to speak to today. Now listen, it's very important that as a Christian, you are God conscious and not self-conscious. Being God conscious helps you to focus more on God. Whereas when you are self-conscious, you are selfish. You think about yourself. God is not even in view. I want to ask you a question. Are you not tired of just listening to messages of people just speaking about God and you yourself doesn't have a relationship with him? Are you not bothered? If you call yourself a Christian, are you not bothered that you deliberately do not spend time with God? In fact, some of you, God has actually been knocking and asking you to spend time with him. And in fact, you hear him saying it, but there's a way sometimes you can take your mind and act as though God didn't say anything to you, and you move along as though he was not talking to you. That is living in rebellion. Let me tell you this. You see that breakthrough that you are waiting for, that you have been praying about, it will be unlocked when you enter the presence of God. That is where the breakthrough is. Sometimes all you need is to enter his presence, be with him, and then your breakthrough will come. Can I tell you the honest truth of why you find it so hard to go into the presence of God? You don't truly love him. That is it. You don't have a heart for him. And that is why you have to be intentional about going into his presence. You must be intentional of building that consciousness in you about God. Acts chapter 17 verse 28, the Passion Translation. It is through him that we live and function and have our identity. Just as your own poets have said, our lineage comes from him. We belong to God. You need to be conscious of the one you belong to. You need to know him. You need to find him. You need to want to spend time with him. If you have been struggling to focus in the place of prayer or to focus in the presence of God, if it comes to a point where you need to take your phone and put your phone somewhere else while you sit with God alone, then it's good. Because do you know that there are sometimes some people, they are in the presence of God, and because their phone is next to them on their table, it's itching them to touch that phone in 5 minutes of just sitting down with God. Their mind is not even with him. In that 5 minutes, it has already been wasted. So in order to be able to focus in the presence of God or in the presence of prayer, you need to create a picture in your mind. Picture Jesus. Picture what he will look like, whether he will be standing beside you or sitting beside you, or even have a phrase in your heart that you can actually meditate on in the presence of God. That will help you to stay focused, because you can be in the presence of God and your mind is thinking about who you met that day. That is very irrelevant, and it happens to most of us. As I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to myself too. You have to fight distraction. And if you are somebody who knows that you find it hard to be in the presence of God, or you just don't like being in the presence of God, by the way, that is not even something that you should experience as a Christian, because you are a child of God. But if you are experiencing that, then that is a demonic spirit. You need to pray for yourself, get it casted out, and then as you are in the presence of God, one of the things that you need to do is to be conscious that you love him. Say to yourself in that moment repeatedly, I love Jesus. I love Jesus. And say it while in the mode of prayer, in the spirit of prayer. Say it repeatedly. Practice it. If you do that, you are deepening your consciousness. You are letting yourself, your spirit, your soul, and your body to know that you love Jesus. And it will become easier for you to flow there. You will find yourself staying in there. 2 Corinthians 3:18. But we all, with unveiled face, beholding as in a mirror the glory of the Lord, are being transformed into the same image from glory to glory, just as by the Spirit of the Lord. Him. When you're in the presence of God, it is supposed to transform you. It is supposed to transform what you believe. Everything about you is supposed to be changed so that it can align with who God is, what God says. As you are being intentional about being God conscious and you are taking a step to fight distraction while you're in the presence of God, you begin to realize that the things you do on a normal basis that seems okay to you, the Spirit of God will highlight it and to let you to know that this thing, I don't like it, change it. This thing, drop it and start doing this. Why? Because what you were already doing, it could have been fighting your sensitivity to the Spirit of God. And so what's not allowing you to be sensitive to God, He's going to cut it off in His presence. We are supposed to become like Him.